The roar shattered the stormy darkness, reverberating through Lou's bones like a physical blow. Through sheets of driving rain, the Labrador could make out 6 massive silhouettes circling her, their movement deliberate, calculating, and unmistakably predatory. Lightning flashed, illuminating the golden manes of 2 male lions as they positioned themselves between her and any possible escape. The largest lion, a battle-scarred beast weighing over 500 pounds, lowered his massive head and fixed his amber eyes on Lou's trembling form. His muscles rippled beneath his tawny coat as he opened his jaws to reveal 4-inch canines designed for one purpose: killing. Lou's wet golden fur clung to her shivering body, making her appear impossibly small before these apex predators. As thunder crashed overhead, the massive lion's muscles tensed, preparing to launch a charge that would end her existence in seconds. Hope you enjoyed this story. Leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear where you're watching from. Now, let's continue with the story. 3 years earlier, on a warm California morning, Samantha Sam Winters was driving to work at the Golden Plains Wildlife Center when she spotted something unusual on the side of the access road. Slowing her truck, she peered through the morning light to see a small, trembling bundle of golden fur beneath a scraggly oak tree. "What in the world?" she murmured, pulling onto the shoulder. Approaching cautiously, she discovered a Labrador puppy, dehydrated and clearly abandoned. The pup was thin, with no collar or identification, left at the remote entrance to the conservation center. "Hey there, little one," Sam said softly, offering her water bottle. "How'd you end up out here all alone?" After several minutes of gentle coaxing, the puppy allowed Sam to pick her up. A thorough check at local shelters and veterinary offices confirmed what Sam suspected. This was another abandoned animal, likely dropped off by someone who had seen the conservation center sign and hoped the puppy would find care there. "I could foster her," Sam found herself telling Dr. Andrew Martinez, the center's veterinarian, later that day, "just until we find her a permanent home." That was how Lou, named after Louise Lou Hoover, the nature-loving former First Lady, became part of the Golden Plains wildlife family. Unlike most dogs, who would bark frantically at the exotic scents and sounds, Lou displayed an unusual calmness around the center's resident animals. "I've worked with animals for decades, Doctor," Martinez remarked after watching Lou sit quietly during an examination of a recovering bobcat. "And I've never seen a dog with such natural poise around wild species." As months passed, Lou became Sam's constant companion at the conservation center, trotting alongside her during daily rounds, carrying small items in her mouth to help, and providing a friendly face for visitors and staff alike. Jennifer Parker, a wildlife documentary filmmaker who frequently collaborated with the center, was particularly taken with Lou. "That dog has an old soul," she commented one afternoon, capturing footage of Lou observing a family of meerkats with gentle curiosity rather than predatory interest. Life at the center settled into a peaceful rhythm until that fateful spring morning when Sam's phone rang during her first cup of coffee. The caller's voice was urgent, tinged with both anger and desperation. 3 lion cubs," Sam explained to her team after ending the call. "Confiscated during a sting operation at San Diego port. They were being smuggled in horrible conditions. Their mother died in transit. Fish and Wildlife needs us to take them immediately." The gravity of the situation wasn't lost on anyone. Orphaned lion cubs had notoriously poor survival rates, even in the best facilities. Without a pride to teach them essential hunting and social skills, their future would be uncertain at best. "We'll need to prepare the isolation unit," Dr. Martinez said, already making notes on his tablet, "and contact Gregory about additional funding for proper rehabilitation." As the staff bustled about, preparing for the cub's arrival, no one noticed Lou sitting attentively by the door, ears perked forward as if she somehow understood the significance of the conversation. No one could have possibly imagined the extraordinary role this gentle Labrador would soon play in the lives of 3 orphaned lion cubs, or how that relationship would ultimately save her life during a violent storm 2 years later. The lion cubs arrived at Golden Plains the following afternoon in a specialized transport carrier. Sam and Dr. Martinez stood outside the medical facility as a fish and wildlife officer carefully unloaded the precious cargo. "They're severely dehydrated," explained Officer Torres, her expression grim. "We estimate they're about 8 weeks old." "Been through hell already in their short lives?" Inside the medical facility, the carrier was gently opened. 3 pairs of blue-gold eyes blinked anxiously at the strange faces surrounding them. The cubs were small bundles of tawny fur with distinctive dark spots that would fade as they matured. Their tiny paws, already equipped with retractable claws, trembled as they huddled together defensively. 2 males and 1 female, Dr. Martinez noted as he began his examination. Underweight, but remarkably resilient considering what they've endured. Throughout the examination, Lou had been sitting quietly in her usual corner of the medical room. Sam hadn't wanted to leave her behind that morning, despite knowing they'd be receiving wild predators. Now she watched with astonishment as Lou's behavior suddenly changed. The Labrador's ears perked forward, her nose twitching rapidly. A soft whine escaped her throat. "Lou, stay," Sam commanded gently, concerned the cubs might be frightened. But Lou wasn't exhibiting aggression, quite the opposite. She inched forward, her body language showing intense interest but no threat. The smallest cub, the female, let out a pitiful mewl. Lou responded with a nurturing whimper that startled everyone in the room. "That's remarkable," Dr. Martinez said, observing Lou's behavior with professional interest. "She's responding to their distress vocalizations." Dr. Cameron Reed, a big cat specialist who had been called in to consult, watched the interaction with fascination. Lions are highly social animals with complex communication. Your Labrador seems to be interpreting and responding to those signals instinctively. Under close supervision, Lou was allowed to approach. To everyone's astonishment, she began gently licking the female cub's face, a distinctly maternal gesture. The cub didn't pull away. Instead, it leaned into the contact. Over the next few hours, as a special nursery area was prepared for the cubs, Lou refused to leave their side. When the staff attempted to separate her from them, she became visibly distressed, pacing and whining at the door. "Maybe we should consider letting her stay with them," Sam suggested hesitantly. "Under supervision, of course." "That's completely unorthodox," Dr. Reed frowned, adjusting his glasses. "But these are extraordinary circumstances. Lions are pride animals. They need social bonding for proper development." After much discussion and multiple consultations with experts, a decision was made. Lou would be permitted to interact with the cubs under strict supervision. If at any point it seemed dangerous for either party, they would be separated immediately. What followed was nothing short of miraculous. The cubs, who had been reluctant to eat, began accepting formula from bottles while nestled against Lou's warm fur. They slept, curled against her, their small bodies finding comfort in her steady heartbeat. much as they would have with their biological mother. "She's providing something we simply can't," Sam observed with wonder. "A living, breathing, maternal presence." Days turned into weeks, and Lou's devotion never wavered. She cleaned the cubs after meals, gently corrected them with nudges when their play became too rough, and seemed to understand exactly what they needed. The cubs, now named Simba, Nala, and Kion, thrived under her care, gaining weight and showing increasing curiosity about their surroundings. Jennifer Parker documented the extraordinary relationship with her camera, capturing tender moments between the unlikely family. "This defies everything we think we know about natural instincts," she remarked, watching Lou patiently allow the growing cubs to clamber over her. "These lions are genetically programmed to become apex predators, yet here they are, bonding with a domestic dog as their surrogate mother." Gregory Montgomery, the center's primary benefactor, visited personally to witness the phenomenon. "In 30 years of supporting wildlife conservation, I've never seen anything like this," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "This has implications far beyond these individual animals." As the weeks turned to months, another reality began to assert itself. The cubs were growing rapidly, their play becoming increasingly rough as their wild instincts emerged. By 3 months of age, they each weighed nearly 40 pounds, their teeth and claws developing enough to inadvertently hurt Lou during their roughhousing, though she bore it with remarkable patience. The decision that everyone had been dreading now loomed on the horizon. For their safety and Lou's, separation would soon become necessary. The bond that had saved 3 orphaned lion cubs would need to be broken, and no one at the conservation center looked forward to the heartbreak that would inevitably follow. The inevitable day arrived as summer heat gave way to autumn's golden light. Simba, Nala, and Kion had grown remarkably over their 3 months under Lou's care. Once tiny, helpless cubs that fit in Sam's arms, they now weighed nearly 60 pounds each, their baby spots almost completely faded, their playful pounces carrying enough force to knock an adult human off their feet. Sam stood at the observation window, watching Lou patiently endure Kion's enthusiastic wrestling. The Labrador's tolerance was remarkable, but even she occasionally winced when play became too rough. "We can't postpone this any longer," Dr. Martinez said quietly, joining her at the window. "Lou has several puncture wounds from yesterday's play session." Sam nodded, her throat tight. "The transition enclosure is ready. The team has been briefed." The plan had been meticulously developed, with input from lion specialists across the country. The cubs would move to a specialized natural habitat where they could develop more appropriate predatory behaviors while still receiving supplemental care. It was a necessary step toward their eventual integration with other captive lions, and away from their canine mother. "Lou's going to take this hard," Sam murmured, watching as the Labrador gently groomed Nala's ears. "Animals are remarkably adaptable," Dr. Martinez assured her, though his voice held a note of uncertainty. "And Lou has always been exceptional." The separation was handled with the utmost care. While Lou accompanied Sam on her morning walk, the cubs were transferred to their new habitat half a mile away on the Conservation Center grounds. After much debate, the team had decided against allowing a final goodbye, fearing it would only confuse both Lou and the cubs. When Lou returned to find the nursery empty, her reaction broke everyone's heart. The Labrador searched every corner, sniffing frantically, her tail drooping progressively lower. She let out a mournful howl that seemed to echo through the silent room. "I'm so sorry, girl," Sam whispered, kneeling beside her faithful companion. They had to move on. For days afterward, Lou's demeanor changed dramatically. The once cheerful dog became subdued, often wandering to the now empty nursery to lie there for hours, her soulful eyes fixed on the door as if expecting her adopted offspring to return. Gregory Montgomery, witnessing Lou's grief during one of his regular visits, was visibly moved. "Perhaps we should arrange for her to see them. From a distance, of course." "It might just prolong her attachment," Dr. Reed advised. "Better to let her adjust naturally." Jennifer, who had grown especially close to Lou during her documentation of the cub's care, offered a different perspective. "In all my years filming animals, I've seen that closure isn't just a human concept. Sometimes seeing that their young are thriving helps the mother move on." After careful consideration, Sam decided to try. 1 week after the separation, she brought Lou to an elevated observation platform overlooking the cub's new enclosure. The 3 young lions were visible in the distance, playfully stalking each other through the carefully designed habitat. Lou's reaction was immediate and heartbreaking. Her ears perked forward, tail wagging with excitement for the first time in days. She whined softly, pressing against the barrier as if trying to reach them. "She recognizes them even from this distance," Sam said softly, stroking Lou's head. Though Lou seemed disappointed when they left without reuniting with the cubs, her mood afterward was noticeably improved. It was as if seeing her children thriving had provided some comfort. Gradually, Lou began to resume her former routines. She accompanied Sam on rounds, assisted with small tasks around the center, and greeted visitors with a subdued version of her once exuberant welcome. The deep sadness in her eyes slowly faded, though never completely disappeared. Meanwhile, Simba, Nala, and Keon flourished in their new environment. Under the guidance of specialized caretakers, they learned to hunt through various enrichment activities, their natural predatory instincts developing as they grew. By winter, they had doubled in size, their bodies transforming from cub plumpness to the lean, powerful builds of adolescent lions. 6 months after the separation, Dr. Reed proposed a controlled observation. "I'd like to see if they still recognized Lou after this time apart," he explained. "The implications for understanding long-term memory in big cats could be significant." No one at the Conservation Center could have predicted that this experiment would become unnecessary, as a violent summer storm would soon bring Lou and her grown children face to face in a life-or-death encounter that would test the bonds they had formed in those precious early weeks. 2 years had passed since Lou first welcomed the lion cubs into her heart. California's summers brought occasional wildfires, but the storm system approaching Golden Plains had meteorologists using words like unprecedented and potentially catastrophic. "All non-essential personnel need to evacuate now," Sam instructed, raising her voice over the howling wind that rattled the windows of the main building. "Essential staff, you know your emergency assignments." "Animal safety is our priority." Dr. Martinez nodded grimly, distributing weather radios to the skeleton crew that would remain. "If conditions worsen, we'll implement full evacuation protocols." Sam knelt beside Lou, securing a bright orange safety vest around the Labrador's chest. "You stay with me, girl. No wandering off today." The first thunderclap hit with such force that the lights flickered ominously. Lou pressed against Sam's leg, trembling visibly. Despite her years at the center, thunderstorms remained her one insurmountable fear. "I need to check the backup generators," Sam told Dr. Martinez, gripping Lou's leash tightly. "Then I'll make a final round of the lion habitat." By the time they reached the habitat, the storm had intensified dramatically. Wind-driven rain lashed against them with stinging force. A massive crack echoed overhead as an ancient oak splintered, sending a large branch crashing onto the perimeter fence. "Control, we have fence damage in Section L," Sam shouted into her radio. "No breach of the enclosure, but we need—" Her words were cut short as Lou, panicked by a deafening thunderclap directly overhead, yanked backwards with unexpected force. The sudden movement, combined with the slick pathway, sent Sam sprawling. The leash slipped from her grasp as Lou bolted in blind terror. "Lou!" Sam scrambled to her feet, catching a glimpse of golden fur disappearing around a storage building. "Control, my dog is loose." "I'm in pursuit." The next few minutes were chaos as Sam searched frantically, calling Lou's name into the howling wind. Visibility was reduced to mere feet by the driving rain, when her radio crackled with Doctor Martinez's voice. His words sent ice through her veins. "Sam, security cameras show Lou has somehow entered the lion habitat. East side, near the artificial cave." Sam ran as she had never run before, heart hammering in her chest. The lion habitat housed 6 adult lions, including Simba, Nala, and Kion, now fully mature, with the males sporting the beginnings of impressive manes. While they had recognized Lou through glass 6 months ago, they had since embraced their predatory natures. Would they remember her now, or would their instincts take over? Reaching the observation deck, Sam could make out shapes moving through the storm. Lou stood trembling in the center of the habitat, her golden coat plastered to her frame, making her appear smaller and more vulnerable. "I'm going in," Sam said into her radio, reaching for the emergency access panel. "Absolutely not." Dr. Martinez's response was immediate. "Security is bringing tranquilizer rifles." "There's no time," Sam protested, watching in horror as several massive forms emerged from various shelters, their attention fixed on the intruder in their territory. The largest lion, a male named Atlas with no connection to Lou, took a menacing step forward, his mane dark with rain, teeth bared in a warning snarl. Lou cowered, frozen in terror, a pitiful whimper escaping her throat. What happened next defied explanation. 3 lions suddenly moved with astonishing speed, positioning themselves between Lou and the approaching Atlas. Simba, flanked by his siblings Nala and Kion, stood protectively around the trembling Labrador. Their posture was unmistakable, defending, not threatening. Atlas paused, clearly confused by this unexpected development. A tense standoff ensued, broken only when Nala issued a soft chuffing sound, a noise lions use in friendly greeting, that carried a clear message to the other lions. "This dog is under our protection." One by one, the unrelated lions retreated to their shelters, apparently deciding that this strange situation wasn't worth challenging the 3 siblings, who had established themselves as a cohesive unit. With the immediate danger averted, Simba, Nala, and Kion turned their attention to Lou. To Sam's astonishment, the 3 lions gently encircled the Labrador, their bodies creating a shelter from the driving rain. Nala, who had always been closest to Lou, gently rubbed her massive head against the dog's side, a classic lion greeting reserved for pride members. "They still see her as family," whispered Jennifer, who had remained at the center to document the storm's impact. "Not as prey, not as intruder, but as pride." As the rescue team arrived with specialized equipment, they found an extraordinary scene. Lou was nestled between the 3 lions, all 4 animals huddled together against the storm's fury. In the months that followed, the incredible story of Lou and her lion children captured hearts worldwide. Gregory Montgomery funded a groundbreaking research center dedicated to studying cross-species relationships and emotional intelligence in animals. A special viewing area was constructed where Lou could safely see her grown lions on a regular schedule. Visits that became the center's most popular attraction, with Nala always the first to approach when her canine mother appeared. For Sam, watching Lou contentedly napping in a patch of sunshine near the lion habitat one perfect autumn afternoon. The most profound lesson was beautifully simple. Love, in its purest form, knows no boundaries, not time, not species, not separation. Once formed, such bonds become as mighty and enduring as the kings of the animal kingdom themselves. I hope you enjoyed this story. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss touching stories. Leave a like and then comment below what you thought of the emotional stories. See you in the next video.